Now, imagine if the house that you're sitting in right now had gone up in flames. For nearly 2,000 Australian families, that's the reality. And now, in the homes of friends or family, they're wondering where to start and who to turn to at this heartbreaking time.
When it came to being prepared, Wayne Marmont did everything he could.
A little bit depressing sometimes.
His ride-on.
So I had it up for repair. I was fixing a tyre.
The family pool.
This was chockers full of water and some goldfish, poor old goldfish.
He's lost it all.
We got a couple of changes of clothes each, and that's about it. Didn't grab the chainsaws, didn't grab any tools, didn't have time.
Wayne and his wife had no sooner checked their home insurance cover when fire tore through their Cobargo neighbourhood.
And we knew what we were covered for and for how much. And we were sort of having a talk about, do we up it, do we lower it, whatever. And we never got around to it. We thought, well, still got a couple of weeks.
As the haze of devastation lifts and confusion sets in, supplies and the support of each other are keeping people here going. But they know they also need to move forward.
Because they've lost everything and they're sitting down there, you know, someone's let them a home or somewhere to stay, but they're not in that mode yet, I think. It's just, they're still not feeling great.
While some are waiting for insurance assessment teams to move in and count the cost, others don't know where to start.
I think some people are going to be very disappointed, so you don't have a great deal of faith in them. But we'll wait and see, that's all you can do.
Insurance advocate David Keane says the first step for victims is to reach out.
Until an insurance company knows you've suffered a loss, they can't do anything for you.
Step 2, know your rights and your level of cover.
You don't have to just be told the way this is going to work. You can demand what you are expecting from this policy that you've paid many, many thousands of dollars for.
And it's not just about those victims who've lost everything.
For the thousands that have lost everything, there'll be many thousands of others who have had some sort of effect, businesses that have had effect on their turnover, people who maybe have just lost all the food in their fridge and freezer because of the power outages. And you may find that in many cases your insurance policy might offer you some coverage.
Mr Keane says because you're insured for a certain figure doesn't mean you'll automatically be paid that amount.
So for example, if you're insured for $500,000 and the insurance company says their builder can rebuild this for $300,000, they're only going to pay $300,000.
Then there is the challenge of proving just how much is gone.
In many cases, you actually still have to go through and prove the value of all of the items that have been lost, come up with a full inventory, some sort of proof of ownership, which is very difficult when a fire has just destroyed everything.
In the past 5 days alone, some 1,000 calls have been made to this hotline, set up to help victims start their insurance journey.
I didn't know about that, but that'd be good to know though, some of the people down there, you know, trying to ring your individual insurance people.
Can people be confident that they're going to be looked after by their insurer?
Insurers have committed to prioritising these claims, and within that, they're also going to extract every single bit of value from these policies for their customers.
Campbell Fuller from the Insurance Council of Australia says a task force has also been established to help the government develop a national response to the bushfire crisis, with 1,838 homes now lost. More than 1,400 destroyed in New South Wales, 300 in Victoria, 88 in South Australia and 45 in Queensland.
So they've been on the ground from day one, working directly in local communities, providing emergency accommodation, providing financial assistance where they can.
On this side of the house,
Federal Treasurer Josh Frydenberg calling Australia's insurance heavyweights to Canberra today, warning them to do the right thing and act swiftly for the 8,985 customers who've so far lodged claims, with an estimated loss value of $700 million.
This is very early on in the bushfire season, and we also have cyclones forming in other parts of the country. So, the industry is certainly prepared for natural disaster season. It's an unfortunate part of insuring in Australia.
The Canberra bushfires in 2003 saw victims claim $840 million in damages. The 2009 Black Saturday catastrophe topped $1.7 billion. And Ash Wednesday back in 1983 cost a whopping $2.5 billion in insurance claims. But the question now is, could what we've seen and continue to watch unfold be Australia's most expensive and damaging bushfire crisis in the nation's history?
You know, I think we're talking about more than 60,000 square kilometres, more than half the size of England.
I would be absolutely stunned if this didn't go well and truly over $1 billion or even a couple of $1 billion by the time all is said and done.
Economists predict rebuilding will see insurer profits plummet and future premiums rise. But no cost could compare to the pain of 20 grieving families whose loved ones never made it out.
I hope that any desire for loss mitigation or minimising the loss is made secondary to the human aspect of looking after the valuable clients who have been through probably the most traumatic experience of their lives.
And Federal Treasurer Josh Frydenberg joins me now. Treasurer, you've had a meeting with the major banks and insurers today. How confident are you that Australians will get what they need to rebuild in a timely manner?
Well, the Insurance Council and the various CEOs that we met with today made it very clear that their priority is to deliver that support. They're already providing emergency accommodation to those who have lost everything. They're providing cash payments to help people get through this immediate period. They're also bringing in additional staff, some from overseas, in order to get the assessors into the field, and they're placing representatives in the recovery centres to deal directly with people who are affected. And they're also engaged already with builders to assist in the rebuilding process, where they're placing a real priority on local tradespeople. So their focus is the same as the government's focus, which is to deliver the support to people who need it most.
Now, one of our viewers, Lorraine, wrote in with a good question about what about the farmers, and what about the areas that fall through the cracks? She says, we know homes will be looked after. What will happen to our farmers as they rebuild?
The government announced yesterday a $2 billion National Bushfire Recovery Fund, which will support small businesses but also primary producers when they start to restock and to replant, as well as important economic and community infrastructure. But the experience that we had with the North Queensland floods is that there is federal money going to be available to those primary producers.
A lot of people asking us, a lot of our viewers wanting to know about premiums. Does this, more broadly mean that premiums will go up generally for people who are already struggling to pay?
Well, it's too early to tell what the full impact will be on premiums, but obviously this is a dramatic disaster, and it will involve significant costs, not only to the insurance companies but to federal and state governments. But our priority is not on the bottom line. Our priority is on helping those who need our help, and the Prime Minister's made it very clear that the cost is not an issue here. What is an issue is how quickly we can get operational and financial support to people who need it most.
Yeah, obviously, the cost to life and to property and to people's livelihoods is number one, but how much of a hit has this whole crisis been economically for the country?
It's too early to tell the full economic impact of these bushfires, but certainly the rebuild will take time, and the communities cannot do it alone. So we will do everything that we can to support those communities get through this very challenging period ahead.
Josh Frydenberg, thank you.
Thank you.